Brooklyn Dodger, and I'm joined in studio with the Doomsday Prophecy. How are you guys?
Good. How are you doing?
Okay. I'm gonna go around the room and have everyone say their name and what they do in the band.
I'm Joe and I play bass.
I'm Loki and I play guitar.
I'm Jake and I play drums.
I'm Keith and I play guitar.
I'm Brian, I play with goats.
How you doing?
What? For the sake of the interview, it's right now. So you guys have went through the Dingbats and played the Street Patrol nights, and just tell us a little bit about that, because I wasn't there when it was going down. So
well, you should have been there. But no, yeah, I think Jay Saccone was the promoter for the Street Patrol at Dingbats nights. We entered a contest and
we won.
Yeah, it was.
What's the name of that contest that we won?
The band's on there, but
we won some Street Patrol contest.
Right.
How long ago
that
was
got
it?
us
You don't
somewhere.
remember?
Was it November or
I don't
something?
know what we won.
It was November. We played with Waking Alley.
Yeah, we tied with the Waking Alley, right?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it was a split decision between the judges, and they were so amazed by both bands that they said there's nothing they could do except call it a split decision.
Sweet. Waking Alley's cool.
Right, but I guess we've had a long relationship with Dingbats, and just from previous bands, and I don't even know.
Dingbats is where it's
at.
at.
What can be said?
Alright, so since the judges were so blown away by your style of music, what type of music do you guys play, and what are your influences in writing?
Can we just skip the influences of writing?
How do I answer them normally?
Genres are such. It's a
Yeah,
dirty
genres are tough.
conversation.
I'd like to stick to the metal, but I guess a lot of people will call us melodic death. I guess we should stick to that.
A lot of death metal with breakdowns.
Basscore.
Oh,
I like when bands just say they're a crossover,
yeah.
because that way it incorporates in everything.
That's like those guys that are like, I listen to everything.
Yeah.
We're a crossover. We're a mix between Count Chocula and Lucky Charms.
Yeah, I honestly don't know what any of it means.
Yeah, when
and I don't care either. I just, I play metal. I grew up listening to awesome bands, from the start of Sepultura, Metallica, Machine Head, Slayer, Megadeth. So it all stems from there, and I just like to play metal, and that's what we're doing here.
That's a good answer. These are the things that our listeners need to know.
Well,
So,
if somebody asks them what genre they are, I would just say they're the Doomsday Prophecy. That's their genre. How about that for a genre?
People call us a death metal band. When I was a kid, I hated death metal. I mean, by today's standards, now I'm playing a death metal band. Like when I was a kid, Cannibal Corpse was death metal. Deicide was death metal.
We sound nothing like.
And we sound nothing like those bands, but bands like us get.
Kids say we're death metal sometimes.
the music industry is all about labels.
People tell us we're not heavy enough to play the death metal shows, and then we hear we're too melodic to play, not melodic enough for the other shows. So who knows?
Okay, so since people are not appreciative of what you bring to the table, what type of influences have influenced you guys to be the band that you are today?
Why don't you pick a couple of bands and then we'll go down the line.
Pantera, Machine Head, Arsis, Slayer.
Of course, Slayer.
Nothing Face.
Yeah, and I'm heavily influenced by probably. I started out with Sepultura.
Yeah.
And then I like a lot of prog metal, like Dream Theater, stuff like that.
I grew up with a lot of Slayer, Machine Head, Madball, Gnostic Front, old school hardcore. That's where I come from.
I don't know. I'm into more like spent like Insomnium, like doomy stuff. I don't know, Children of Bodom's pretty cool.
I'll edit this out. Mental note, I'll edit this out.
It won't come any closer.
So do your bands over.
Just hold it.
You just
What are you
hold
afraid
it.
of? It's not gonna bite you. Alright, Insomnium, doom metal. Children of Bodom's kind of cool. Stuff like that. Kalma. Yeah, anything like folky and heavy.
I don't quite understand, Keith.
Yeah, this is Lord of the Rings metal.
Yeah. The black sheep of the band.
Yeah, I guess so. Oh, here you go.
Oh. Well, I grew up on some Pantera, Metallica, Megadeth type stuff, and now I'm pretty much, you know, all over the board. Justin Timberlake is a big influence, especially his lyrics.
They really
They
get
touch
touch
home.
you.
They touch home.
They
You know?
touch you.
I'm bringing sexy back.
With the goats.
All right.
With the sexy goat metal.
Pretty much it, yeah.
I'm pretty sure that's probably.
Sexy folk goat metal.
I think folk goat metal is probably a genre now. It's probably.
Folk goat metal?
Yeah. It's probably just invented by some kid with his like Dungeons and Dragons like nights. I don't know.
I never played Dungeons and Dragons though.
I don't know.
We'll set that
For
on
the record.
For the record.
I never played it either, but I know people who used to spend their nights playing Dungeons and Dragons many nights.
Well, so far we have offended people who love death metal and Dungeons and Dragons, folks. Let's see how many more people we can offend in this interview.
Let's see how many people will like rate me letters because they hate me now. So, with all your influences, for the Jersey scene, I know I asked a lot for local bands. How has the scene changed from like when you started?
Oh. From when we started what?
From when you first started as a band. How about that?
Well, that was
man,
a year ago. It
it's
hasn't
like
really
a
changed
year.
much. But we could talk for hours about how the scene has changed.
Oh,
Yeah,
I
we
love
could do that.
hearing different opinions
Well,
of
for
it.
starters, people used to come out to shows, and that was cool. When I was a kid, people would go to shows because there was a show. It
Yeah.
didn't matter what bands were playing. It didn't matter what genre the show was. Is that you'd go to like these local shows, these VFW halls or whatever, and it would be like, hey man, there's a show next week in Hasbrook Heights, and then you'd have to go talk to some other people in the parking lot and find out where in Hasbrook Heights the show was, or wherever the hell, you know. And it's just not like that anymore. People, maybe it's with Facebook and MySpace and all that stuff, that there's so much stuff being promoted that it's so easy for all these companies and businesses and bands. There's an influx of bands too. So many bands. Everyone could be a band. You could start a band nowadays.
I just played music. I don't.
You don't have to you don't have to be very good to be in a band.
I've noticed. Trust me, doing this show, I've noticed.
It's very easy to go out and record a demo on the cheap. And 5-6 years ago it wasn't, or 7-8 years ago.
Yeah.
Now we're getting old.
Yeah, we're getting old, so we could start saying 10 years ago.
Some of
It
us
was
are
very
pushing
cheap.
30.
Fine.
So, yeah, I mean, you guys would know better than me.
Yeah, how do you think it changed from your perspective? Some of these guys are a little younger than us.
I mean, like, you hit it on the head, though. It's like nobody goes anymore, but if they go, I mean, without saying anything about certain stuff, you know, like, there's fights. That was a big part of the
Yeah,
reason
the
why,
violence
like,
stinks.
you can't play, you know, VFW like you could 5 years ago, 6 years ago, because, you know, A, it's either about making money, or it's basically a place to just fight each other.
Yeah, there's no more,
you know,
there's
like,
no more pit
there's no unity.
hospitality. I'm sure you've heard that before.
No
Pit
more
hospi-
pit hospitality.
Pit hospitality's way gone.
That term is gone.
That used to be awesome. I used to go. I remember going to
When somebody would pick you up.
way back in the
For
day.
circle bits, if you fall
Oh,
down
I'm
there.
sorry, I punched you in the face.
Oh,
My
it's
bad.
okay.
It's all right. I'll get
Do
you
you
next
remember
time.
going to those like E-Town God Forbid shows when they were
Oh,
playing
yeah.
together, and like it was just awesome. People would go there, do their
Pipeline.
thing, do their thing, and if you fell down, they'd pick you up, and they were there together. And like these days, man, you go in there and this one kid's just going in there to hurt somebody. Like they're not doing it to be together. They just want to get their aggression out and hurt people. And that's just not. That's not cool, man. And that's why people don't want to go to these shows, because they're just violent kids trying to do violent things, and it makes no sense.
I love how like when I go to shows, it's the kids who are there but think that they're cool in the scene and just wearing whatever like MTV tells us to wear. And then there's the kids who think they're trying to protect the scene and end up just bashing everybody in the scene.
I love how everyone uses the word scene. And, you know, scene is about bands and people coming together to form this one thing. And that's the exact opposite of what goes on in New Jersey. No one wants every band and every man for a lot of cases, you know.
I
No one
can't say
wants to
that
share anything.
I can't say the Jersey scene is really all that bad though. Like I grew up in Denver, and like coming from out there to out here, like the scene's much different. It's a little bit more violent out here, I have to say. But like a lot more people come out to shows out here, which is cool.